Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with a new installment of Buliding the Team. Now, first, funny story. Yesterday, I shot this very same video I'm about to shoot now. But while I was uploading it, I decided to clear my SD card, including the video that was uploaded. So, bye-bye video. So, today will be a bit more of an after-the-fact building the team. So, the build that we were working with was 400 points, and it had to be an X-Men team. Basically an X-Men related team. So, rather than going with, X-Force, X-Men, I decided to go with the New Mutants. Now, in HeroClix, New Mutants refers to two groups of characters. One is the second group of students at Xavier's school, who, by and largely would go on to form the original X-Force team. The other group was one of the groups of students from, I want to say it was the Grant Morrison era of X-Men comics. There was a miniseries entitled New X-Men, which focused on the fact that, well, Xavier's is a school, so let's show the X-Men teaching a new generation of mutants. Anyways, the students were divvied up into teams, and one of those teams was called the New Mutants. I don't entirely recall who their faculty advisor was. It may have been Cyclops, it may not have been. I don't remember. That miniseries ran just before I got back into comics at that point in time. Anyways, so the team that we put together was actually consisted of, well, mostly older members of the older New Mutant squad. So I figured with this squad, okay, so let's start off with a leader. And who better than Magneto, the master of magnetism himself. Of course, you're probably saying to yourself, but Rock and Roll Spock. Magneto's not an X-fan. He's the ex-villain. I mean, for the most part, yeah, he kind of he worked with Xavier a bit back in the day, but I mean, well, it's like you said, they were friends back in the day. At one point when the X-Men, including Xavier, went into space, they did that a lot way back in the day. They still kind of do it every now and again too. But Magneto took over as headmaster, and he made a point, even of honoring Charles's standpoint. Of course, it wouldn't last. In fact, Magneto would end up joining the Hellfire Club, become as their White King, and eventually usurping Sebastian Shaw's position as Black King and becoming simply the Gray King. And the students kind of just said, you know what, we're done with you, bye. And they went their own way for a while until a soldier from the future with a cybernetic arm and a glowing eye came along and said, hey, I'll take over the leadership position here. So, yes, I'm referring to Cable. Anyways, but yeah, for a while though, Magneto was a trusted. Magneto has been an on and off trusted ally of the X-Men. Just as probably almost, well, okay, we'll say about a third of the time that he's existed, he's been a trusted ally of the X-Men, and well, the remaining 2/3 he's been enemy or presumed dead. Mostly enemy, though. So, what does Magneto bring to the table? First off, keywords: New Mutants and X-Men. Then you have the trait Headmaster, New Mutants, which grants him leadership, and as well as Perplex. However, that Perplex can only be used to target another friendly character with the New Mutants keyword. Also, during Force instruction, I may include a student ID card on my Force without adding its cost. I opted not to because I really don't use ID cards too much, and I don't have that many of the ones from Xavier School, anyway. Especially not with their matching character. Anyway, opening up, this is the opening dial. He's got, actually for his first 3 clicks, he's got Force Blast on speed, Telekinesis on attack, and Energy of Deflection on defense. On his last 2 clicks, he's got Willpower on defense and Outwit on damage. So anyway, but yeah, he is quite useful, especially at just 50 points. Anyways, moving on. Next up, I opted to I needed a hitter, especially a close hitter, and so with Cannonball from the Deadpool and X-Force sets. Alright, so let's talk some about Samuel Guthrie. Sam Guthrie is the oldest child of the Guthrie family, who a lot of the Guthrie kids ended up mutants. In fact, his sister is also an active member of the X-Men, Husk, aka Paige Guthrie. So anyways, what does Cannonball bring to the table? First off, again, keywords: Hellions, New Mutants, X-Force, and X-Men. Now, I'm bringing the keywords for a reason. Anyways, so on speed, he has a special power called Blast Off Beatdown. And he can use Charge, Force Blast, and improved movement, ignores it, destroys blocking, and ignores characters. When he moves 4 or more squares and only in a direct path, you increase his attack and damage values by +1 this turn. That's actually pretty decent because he starts off with a 10 attack and 3 damage. You move him, at least 4, in a direct path. 11 and 4. That's not so bad. Throwing some Perplex on there. Oh yeah. On defense, he has Blast Shield, which allows him to use Inertial Deflection and Toughness. Again, when he moves 4 or more squares in a direct path, he can use Invulnerability instead of Toughness. Now, on his second and third click, he also picks up Empower, allowing him to help out his fellows with close attacks. On clicks 4 through 6, he's got Charge, Combat Reflexes, and Close Combat Expert. Also, that's when his attack value starts to take a dive or take a dip. Is after it actually started with click number 5. Then on his very last click, he's got Earthbound neutralized, meaning he's no longer a flyer. And he also has on damage the special power external. Once per game, when it comes up, stop, turn the dial. So if he's on his next to last click and someone deals him 2 damage, well, you give him that 1 and then, oh, stop. And anyways, Cannonball can use regeneration normally or as a double power action. If he uses it as a double power action, you don't subtract 2 from the result. Now, I'm not entirely certain on this, and in fact, our judge basically agreed with my assessment, though, that with the change made to regeneration as of the Mighty Thor, well, the new rules from last year, that would, instead of do not subtract 2, it would read do not have the result. Which means that technically you could for a moment get Cannonball all the way back up to top dial, but with it being a double power action, you then have to give him a push so you can get him back up to second click. Now he comes in at 75 points. He's also packing the X-Men team ability. I forgot about that. Okay, so we've got our leader, we've got our close hitter. Now let's look at our range hitter. And that is Boom Boom, also from Deadpool and X-Force. Now, Tabitha Smith has a not that long, well, kind of long, but not that storied history in Marvel Comics. She was recruited, she was found by, as I recall, she was introduced to the X-Men basically through X Factor, the original X Factor team, in their, while they were masquerading as mutant hunters. And it was kind of a, okay, well, oh yes, we found this young girl, and you know, oh, by the way, get her off to the school. So, and then she joined the New Mutants, and would eventually be a founding member of X Factor. Also, she was a founding member of, well, I say founding, she is a member of the team Next Wave. Next Wave was a group of heroes that worked for a corporation known as the Beyond Corporation. They were working for the highest anti-terrorism effort, or HATE, which it turns out was working for the Beyond Corporation, which is an evil corporation. And it turns out that HATE's whole thing was testing weird weapons of mass destruction for the Beyond Corporation. And so Boom Boom sold the marketing plan, and so the team went after these weird weapons of mass destruction. It's a really funny series, and it's a shame that it hasn't been revisited in all these years. But anyways, so Boom Boom brings to the table the following: the New Mutants keyword, the X Factor keyword, and the X-Men keyword. Or no, not the X-Men, X-Force. New Mutants, X Factor, and X-Force. Then she's got a special power on attack, 3, 2, 1, boom, which basically covers her plasma time bombs. Boom Boom can use energy explosion and penetrating psychic blast, which isn't as useful as it was, as the two powers no longer work together. But not the point. When she makes a range attack and has no action tokens, modify her attack and damage value by +1. So okay, 11 attack for 3 damage, potentially penetrating. I'll take it. She also opens up with running shot and an energy shield deflection. she loses running shot on her second click and has 2 clicks of sidestep before picking running shot back up. And when she picks running shot back up, she simply has energy explosion instead of 3, 2, 1 boom. On her last 3 clicks, instead of energy deflection, she has willpower. So she's actually fairly useful. Anyways, so to round out the team, because Boom only 60 points, Magneto's 50, and Cannonball 75. So that's 185 points out of 400. So we've still got some room. So let's look at the newer class of New Mutants. And so we'll bring in Surge. Now, like I said, she's part of the newer class of New Mutants. So she has the X-Student trait. When this character or an adjacent friendly character's attack roll includes exactly 1/5, modify one target's defense by -1. To be perfectly honest, I completely forgot about that trait during the game. Now, on speed, Surge has the special power channel the energy or release the energy. At the beginning of your turn, you choose one. Hypersonic speed, or she has a range value of 6, and when she hits, at her resolutions, give all hit targets an action token. She can use the chosen effect this turn. She also opens up with 2 clicks of willpower, and and she swaps out for her next and last 2 clicks, having charge and combat reflexes, all for 40 points. Decent stats too. She's like, for 40 points, she's not a bad addition to the team. That puts us at 225. I do believe. Yeah, 225. All right. So next up on the list is Cypher, Doug Ramsey. Doug Ramsey is one of the from the original crew of New Mutants. His mutant power is that he can understand and translate any language. Now, 35 years ago, that was kind of neat for a moment. Oh, he can read any. Oh, hey, we're in space. He can read this ancient space language. Or, oh, hey, we're in Japan, and he can tell us exactly what the signs say, or so on and so forth. But in superhero comics, that doesn't really do much. Oh, you can read any language. That's great. However, but anyways, he was eventually killed off rather unceremoniously. In fact, when he was killed off, he had made friends with a techno-organic alien who joined the team named Warlock. Then after Doug was killed, Warlock got killed a while later during Extinction Agenda. I think that part of that was clearing out some space before X-Force started up. Anyway, so years later, Doug returns as a techno zombie is found who appears to be a combination of both Doug and Warlock, and who is called Douglock. This was in the lead up to the Phalanx Covenant's crossover, which also introduced Generation X. Douglock stuck around for a while, then just kind of, as a lot of characters from the 90s did, they just kind of But anyways, later on he would come back during the Necrosha X storyline and would actually attack his former teammates. And new writers actually had found something interesting to do with his powers. Turns out he can read body language. That is something that could actually come in handy in a superhero comic. That can actually make reading any language, work in a superhero comic. So, also he is an internet addict and was featured heavily in which one? One of the Hunt for Wolverine miniseries. It's not Claws of a Killer. It's not Adamantium Agenda or Mystery Madripoor. What was the other one called? Damn it. But anyways, yeah. Go with Daredevil and Misty Knight. So, anyways, what does Cypher bring to the table? First off, let's look at his keywords. Excalibur, Hellions, New Mutants, and Robot. So we're kind of, combining the Doug era and the Doug Locke era. Alright. And in fact, our first trait. Cypher / Doug Locke. If he's 35 points, he's KO'd when his dial clicks past the red KO line. Alright. New Mutants. At the beginning of your turn, if this character is adjacent to a friendly character with the New Mutants keyword, you may heal this character one click. If you do, friendly characters can't make attacks this turn. Okay, so you sacrifice attacking for healing. Now, funny thing about this, makes a point of saying attacks. However, there are other things you can do than attack. For example, that can still be construed as being offensive things, like you could use Force Blast. And, get rid of, basically push someone away. You could sidestep and run away. Or you can put characters get characters in the position because, oh hey, your opponent's team is pushed. Anyway, next up, we have the special power for defense, Remembering His Sacrifice, which is a stop click. Gives Cypher invincible, and he can't be healed above this click for the rest of the game. Okay. Then damage, we've got everything comes down to language. Adjacent friendly characters and friendly characters within 3 squares with the New Mutants keyword have protected Outwit, meaning they cannot be the target of Outwit. That is extremely useful. And anyways, his opening attack values are really nothing to write home about. His first 2 clicks, 0 attack, 0 damage, 7 move with sidestep, 16 defense with energy shield deflection. It's when he crosses that red KO line, that's when he becomes, if he's at 70 points, actually, he's interesting both ways. Personally, I would have made, this is a character a figure I would have probably made it unique, just because you run 2 of this bad boy on a team, ooh. If you can keep one of them on those first 2 clicks and the other one, and you just let the other one go to, click 3 and beyond, oh, man, it can get nasty. Anyways, so, on click 3, we get 2 click. We start off with 2 clicks of plasticity and a click of sidestep. Also, his speed goes up incrementally each time, 8, then 9, then 10. Then we've got 3 clicks of poison and his attack that goes up 10, 11, 12. Invincible for all on all 3 of his clicks, and 17, 18, 19 defense. Then 2 clicks of 3 damage and shape change, and 1 click of 4 damage and close combat expert. That's just mean. And it came in handy. Only reason it didn't come more in handy is because he was largely up against the Wolverine, or the super rare Wolverine from X-Men Xavier School, who has stop clicks about every 2 or 3 clicks. So, yeah. 4 damage is all well and good, except when you hit, you're gonna keep hitting stop clicks. So, that puts us at, let's see, 50, 125, 185, 225, 295. We're still 105 points short. So what do we do? Well, because my options for other characters with New Mutants didn't pan out, and there wasn't much in the way of, I was going to end up with a lot with gaps or having to completely redo the team. So then I remembered something. I decided to bring in the all-new Wolverine. Now, all-new Wolverine has all-new X-Men, Circle of 4, Weapon X, X-Force, and X-Men. You're saying, wait a minute, she doesn't have New Mutants, though. But she's a trait, unexpected team-ups. During Force Construction, she gains all of the keywords of one character she shares at least one of her printed keywords with. So, that means she can share keywords with Surge, Magneto, Cannonball, or Boom Boom. That's 4 that have the New Mutants keyword. That works out. So, okay. So we've got the unexpected team-up trait. What else have we got? Jonathan the Unstoppable Wolverine. As a free action, she can, once per game, generate a Jonathan bystander. The first time each game that Jonathan will be KO'd, instead, it isn't. Now, Jonathan, it's a Wolverine it's got a 7 move charge, 7 for 7, blades for 10, 16, and Battle Fury for 2. One problem I have with Jonathan is that it's normal size, and so therefore cannot be carried by normal size characters except flyers. Actually can't be carried at all because Battle Fury, so yeah. What? Anyways, then finally we've got the Kickstarted Healing Effector trait. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6 and add the number of action tokens on all new Wolverine. On a final result of 5 or more, heal 1 click. It's not the best healing trait, but it's not the worst. I think the best is probably any of the ones that simply say, at the beginning of your turn, or what at X point, heal 1 click. Those are the ones I actually prefer. So anyways, the dial. Well, she clocks in at 100 points. So we're 5 points shy. You know what? That's fine. Alright, so let's talk about the dial. We've got 2 clicks of charge, a full dial, or 2 opening clicks of charge, 2 clicks of nothing on speed, 2 clicks of charge, 2 clicks of nothing, 2 clicks of no charge. Then we got a full dial of Blades, Claws, Fangs, and we've got 1 point where the attack value drops below 10. Starts at 11, and actually goes up to 12 at 1 point. Then we've got on defense 4 clicks of combat reflexes, all with a 17 defense. 2 clicks of regen at a 16. Not bad. And with regen, she can get up to her she can get herself back up to her 2nd click. Meaning, with that Kickstarter healing factor power, you can potentially get her all the way back up. She's also got Indomitable, so she basically built in willpower. Then on damage, we've got 2 clicks of Perplex right off the bat, 2 blank clicks, and then 2 clicks of Battle Fury. So, alright. To be perfectly honest, the other X-23, or the other version of this character, X-23, from the Uncanny X-Men set, probably has the dials just as good. There's a healing ability there, you know. The only, I'd say the biggest upside that that one has is Charge and Flurry. And some improved movement. But still, that all-new Wolverine, whew, yeah. So how did this team do? Well, only 3 of us showed up. It was a small, you know, it was, and so we just did a one-on-one free-for-all. Well, actually, I think everyone got some licks in on someone. The Cypher and Cannonball were the 2 that lasted the longest. Well, Cypher, no, Cannonball first basically did his whole, oh, I'm gonna fly out and start beating on people, and it got him away from everyone else. So yeah. As for Cypher, that stop click, oh, once he hit that, whew, oh, it was on, but only sparingly. And the opponent of mine who actually took him out did understand that, yeah, he was going to have to, but it took some doing. All in all, it's a team that works really well together, and this is honestly, this is a team I would totally run again, and possibly even use as a base to build a larger New Mutants team. Probably, I don't know, Surge might end up being dropped, but other than that, I mean, it's a pretty solid team, and it worked out really well. So yeah, this is definitely, like I said, 10 out of 10 would run again. So anyways, tomorrow, as tomorrow's Wednesday, we will be doing our weekly comic book live stream. We've got, well, according to the solicits, there's some interesting stuff coming out this week, but that's not always you can't always trust the solicits. After all, the reason I wore my Punisher shirt last week was because I thought the new Punisher #1 was coming out, and I was going to pick that up. It didn't. But so hopefully, though, everything that's scheduled to come out this week comes out this week. A little bit of first off, we'll finally get we're getting Extermination #1 as well as Infinity Wars #2, so that's going to be kind of a woo. I think we're also getting the second of the new Sandman related books from Vertigo. Let's see, what else we got coming up? Well, if nothing else, there's going to be we'll be doing a Building the Team on this coming Sunday, hopefully, ideally. I might actually do a video about relating to the new Magic set, which has been out for about a month or so. Yeah, if I could have afforded it, I'd be doing an unboxing video on the 4 new Commander decks that just dropped. But well, hey, that's how things are. Anywho, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my social media and Patreon are in the description box down below. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I put up a new video. Yeah, this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.